All right, we live.
Oh, we already on?
Go ahead and do your thing though.
Okay. Hold on.
Dude, trying to see if anybody's gonna go on. Hmm, Nobody popped up yet, so we got time. Wait for people to come in.
All right.
I mean, we're gonna do our thing anyway if it's just us. So we don't change the
Re-
factor of anything. Hey,
Right.
on your Facebook, you always got to change it to trying to see if anybody's gonna go on. Yeah, that can just let you know how late our delay is.
Oh yeah. You talking about the public?
Yeah,
I think it should be public.
most
Yeah,
of
it
the
is.
time yours is
It's
public.
public. Yeah. Let's see. Shit.
Hey, go ahead and add me to the live.
All right. Sure.
Hey, this be one of those crew cut type deals.
Yeah. Yeah. He definitely be on.
No, he in Georgia.
Yeah, he in Georgia.
No.
Right outside Atlanta, right? Or right below
Yeah.
Atlanta. I'm trying to.
All right. Today is gonna be one of us. First of all, to everyone, thank you for just taking your time out to watch us. Please like, share. Please tell people to get in, be involved. You got our YouTube page, Three Headed Monster Podcast on YouTube. We also got a Facebook page, Three Headed Monster Podcast, and then we getting ready to start up a YouTube, well, not YouTube, but Instagram also, which is going to be in the works for the Three Headed Monster Podcast, so we can reach more people and just share our thoughts. Um, Again, these are our thoughts and just our opinions. So most people do need to understand that. If you look at us as we bigger figures, so I appreciate it, but we don't, we just again, we're just sharing our just what we feel and what we learn throughout the process. Especially, because this year is my 50th year. I hit the 5-0 this year. I'm starting into another league of men. So I can only give you wisdom and thought process, but I guess today is more of a we get back together. It's been a while since we've been on. Sorry about that. You know, but yeah, let's build. Let's build. I don't really like to talk about politics, but I mean, I don't feel like there's anything else that we can discuss, but not on that, but it's discuss politics and be on a respected level. I think that's the issue because this whole Democrat Republican, yeah, we got to start our own thing, man, and stop depending on other people to fix our problems. Because I think that's the issue that we have. I think we dig ourselves in a hole because we depended on somebody else. to fix something. Because in life, when you go through what you go through, you have to dig yourself out. If you're strong enough, if you got the mindset, you got the willpower. And as a people, for one, we got to fix within ourselves what we are and then go from there. So let's do this.
All
What's
right.
going on, Jerome? What's going on?
All right. What's up, B? How's everything?
Everything good, man. Everything is good. It's
That's
just
what's up.
keep fighting the fight or fighting, within yourself. It's a mental battle. And a lot of times we forget that we always fighting ourselves at all times, trying to be accepted, trying to please other people, trying to be something that you're not. And when people always fighting you for being you, they want you to be somebody else.
Of
And that's
course.
the part that I hate. You can't never be true to who you are because somebody always wants you to be what they want you to be.
Of course.
I digress, but let's do this, man. Go ahead and get your disclaimer out.
Oh yeah, definitely. First of all, I want to welcome everybody, my Facebook family, welcome YouTube family. I would, like he said, we're going to try to get on some other platforms, Instagram, Twitch, whatever we can reach the people with. As always, this show is opinion based. So whatever you hear and whatever you hear us speak, please do not believe anything that we tell you. Go do your own research, find the knowledge, come back. Let's talk about it. Let's politic, and we'll go from there. So let's jump, B. Let's do this.
You ready? The three-headed monster.
The three-headed
Unite.
monster is back. It's been a minute, but we're back like we never left.
Now, this political field, this political wave that we have is not, it's not a healthy America right now, my opinion.
Right.
And the reason I say it's not a healthy America, because we have different people trying to tell us what's good and what's bad, especially the media. 4 years ago, the media was not good. Don't listen to what the media says. The media is out to do this and do that, but the media is doing exactly what it always been doing, especially when it comes to the orange head dude.
Right.
Well, I ain't gonna say it. Former President Trump. Now, I'm gonna get it off my chest. I don't like Trump and I don't like Biden. I don't like neither one. But that's just my personal opinion. We always got old America trying to run today's America. So either we got one that's just way too old. Well, I ain't gonna lie, they both too old.
Yeah,
they're
not,
both
it's not a big age difference.
One's trying to stay irrelevant as a person. The other one is just, it is what it is. So,
Right.
so what we need to do and need to understand is when is we going to start letting everybody else tell us who we are? We fight. We get mislabeled. We're being told what our history and what the history was about us. And now we're fighting a fight because yes, we were Republicans in the 1800s, maybe in the early 1900s, but then
True.
somebody struck a deal, and then we jumped to the Democratic Party. And yes, that's where we've been since basically the Civil Rights era. It's been part of the Democratic Party. Yes, we know the past of the Democratic Party was this and that. But then at the same time, Drone, are you the same person that you was 10 years ago?
Not at all.
So that means people evolve, people change.
Correct.
We made the Democratic Party something that a crutch that we lean on. And I say a crutch because we do lean on them to try to get this or that fixed. But then at the same time, we watch when Obama was in place, the fighting that we saw, him trying to do this, him trying to do that. Yes, we know he's not going to be that guy to get whatever fixed. Every time we turn around, we keep asking people, what have they done for our
Right.
people? And then this, what it is we're waiting for a president to do it, but we never push for anybody locally to fix whatever problems.
Right.
So my big question is, why are we depending on either one of them, either one of these parties? Because what have either one of just tell me what have any one of them done for us? Period.
Nothing.
So I'm independent, just to let people know.
Right. I think most of us should be.
But it bothers me though. It's like everybody is like, oh, I should be down with Donald Trump because Biden is a racist. I'm like, they both have shown their racism. They both have. But at the same
Right.
time, I mean, I'm not riding for neither one of them. You ain't gonna see me riding out with a Democratic sticker on me or a Republican sticker on me because I still do my life. My life hasn't changed because of any of them. Oh, somebody might have put more money in my pocket, but at the same time, I mean, you do what you got to do. So we always in survival mode. When a president stopped me from being in survival mode, then I jump on sides. Until then, I'm still gonna be where I'm at.
Right.
Somebody, because I know, they say voting is a right. Our ancestors died for this. And then I sit back and I think about it and I'm like, they've been having the right to vote since the 1800s. Now, have there been people stopping us from voting? Like, when it comes to the poll tax or, the police stopping us from, most of that happened down south. But then it makes you wonder. It makes you want to go back and question the Civil War and
Right.
find out who was really this whole thing need to if Reconstruction changed everything, it changed everything. So
Right.
what if we've been just looking at everything upside down? But I digress. Let me let you jump in and do your thing, man.
Nah, you
Plus, we got a couple questions already came in.
oh, okay. Okay, I'm just reading the questions. Okay. Wow. Okay. I think that's the first of all, I agree with what you're saying. Um, but as far as us taking the initiative to change things for ourselves, has a lot to do with what I always talk about with politics is that we don't belong to either party. We're always being who has the black vote this year, right? So they don't even include us inside of their party. They look at us as a tool to help them win, right? Who is swaying the black vote. So as far as us, we don't have the cognizance to understand that how powerful we are because our vote swings whether they win or not. Who got the black vote this year, right? Or who dissipated the black vote this year. So if we ever come to the realization that if we stand together for ourselves, if you want our vote, then these are the things that you have to do for us. If you don't do those things for us, then we'll put in place who we want to on the independent. What is that called? The green card or whatever, the independent card. And that's what we should do. We don't flex our voting power. And that has nothing to do to understanding putting our agenda together. Because first we need to put an agenda together of things that we want, things that we can not just talk about, but things that are actionable that we can actually put into our lives and actually change our situation. See, the problem is they don't want you to change your situation. They want you to stay dependent on them and stay dependent on their politics. But they want us to stay dependent on their politics. You know, their politics is once they have the vote, you know, they discard who you are because you don't force them to do anything else.
Yeah, because everybody depends on our vote. Our vote means that our vote can swing either way.
Right.
Now we have, I ain't gonna lie, both of them just sound ignorant when they go and talk to people. Now we got this issue, especially down in the Carolinas. Man, Jerome, why people keep thinking Carolina's that spot? Carolina's that spot. Everybody think once you get Carolina, it's a wrap.
You know why?
Why?
It's the amount of people that we have in the Carolinas. You
We're
know,
not a big state though.
You don't have to be a big state. We got the big numbers. And so it's just everything's about the numbers.
Well, I mean, 4 years ago, we made Biden who he is right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Now, yes, we didn't like Biden for what he did in the 90s, especially when it comes to the war on drugs, the situation when it comes to that. But then I'm thinking, anybody at that age, have they not shown any type of hatred towards us as a people? Let's just keep it real. I mean, you think about it. I'm from South Carolina. Strom Thurmond we know how he was representing South Carolina. Nikki Haley represents South Carolina. She was a governor.
True.
But then I'm looking at it as growing up in South Carolina, dude, I actually feel like the education system, I learned more in the service than I learned, just coming out, because it felt like I was missing out on life.
You was.
So now when I look at this whole thing, I mean, actually, it's funny. Last weekend, I was in my mind debating to go to SneakerCon because I was hoping, okay, yes, Jordans came out, Jordan 3 Brads came out, Jordan 4 Brads came out. Yes, those are my favorite shoes. And yes, this is my first pair of Jordans that I ever bought for myself with my own money. So it's sentimental to
Represent.
me. Yes. So I was like, if I don't get what I get, I can go SneakerCon and find them. Did not know he was going to be there.
Who?
Trump.
Okay.
Because it was here in Philly. And I was thinking like, what shoes do I really need? Do I really need to go? Boom. I got my shoes anyway. So I was like, don't need to go. Now the news hit and it was like, oh, Trump was at SneakerCon and he brought out these Pro Kids. I ain't gonna say that. I think they the Trump, he never surrender. But I'm thinking never surrender. Make America great again.
Yeah.
Never surrender. Those words are code words because if we're always trying to strive to be better and try to show equality under what the United States is supposed to be, why is the black people always getting punched in the face?
Right.
We always getting punched in the face. Whatever we do, we gotta get punched in the face. Versus looking at everybody else is a melting pot. And the reason why I feel like we constantly get punched in the face because we was the original people that was here. We are the faces that they saw when they came here. So we gotta keep them. We gotta keep these people down because if they realize that we stole their land, we stole their culture, we stole the way they govern within their people, people start awakening, which we are slowly. But now everybody look at civil rights, but nobody ever think about human rights.
Yeah. You're right
Now the
about
civil rights era. When did it become the human era?
that. Right.
Human rights.
That's because you got to be human first. They don't. They never want to classify you as human.
So we fighting. Civil rights is fighting for what though?
Oh, it's fighting for the
That's just
Roman.
basic. That's just basic.
It's fighting for the Roman law establishment. That's where civil law comes from. See,
So it's basically we still it's if
it,
it's
it,
like that, then we
let me
are
tell you what
still
it's
under
about,
slavery.
man.
Then we
What
still
it's
under
about.
slavery.
Exactly. What it's about is that you're trying to go to your master and you're trying to say that we deserve a certain standard of living as slaves. That's the whole point of civil law. The Roman Empire, you were split into classes. The lower classes, of course, being slaves. Then you had the Thespians. Then you had the upper class, and then you had the elite who ran things. The civil law was the law between uh, the slave and his owner. Um, they actually were treated better than the American slave issue. The American slave issue was cattle or cattle slavery, where you were made into property. So the whole point of America and how they look at you from a perspective of property because there was no way you can treat another human the way you treat the slaves. And so until the people that are in power humanize the so-called black, um, then we would never be treated as according we should. And until we as a people start looking at ourselves as human, because if you look at a lot of the times of the things that we accept in our community, we dehumanize ourselves just by accepting the behavior, just by accepting the code words that they put on us and the code words that we use with one another that we don't understand are code words. So until we realize that we're what it is to be human, then you it's hard to see change when you don't realize what it is to be human. You don't realize what it is to have community with other humans when you don't realize how to build and thrive with other humans. So until we can get that down, you're not going to see change.
So it always starts with us. It
It
always
always,
boils down to us.
of course,
Everybody in the world looks at us. What are y'all gonna do? What are y'all gonna do to change what y'all got going on? And then we always we wait on these politicians. So I told a group of people because we don't lobby. Who lobbies for us?
nobody. That's why I'm
That's
saying
that's our
we
main problem. We have
we
nobody
handcuff
that's lobbying
ourselves.
us for us in the government to, hey, do this and do that. So we trying to do it by force, by not voting. Our votes is what is very important, but who's lobbying that? Who's pushing that forward? Nobody.
Nobody.
We got a bunch of people. We got everybody else doing all this stuff, but nobody. And the reason why I say what I'm saying is because I watched the Alphabet crew do what they did with Obama. They lobbied hard,
They put money on it though, B.
and what they get? They get all what they got now.
They put the money on it. Let me say this.
Go ahead.
Yo, we talk, like I said, we talk about
Just keep it real. Keep it real. This is
we talk about these code words, right?
hmm
One code word is minority, right? Minority is like a group of minors, right? You have minors, you put them into a group, then you have minorities, right? These smaller groups. But minority or a minor is one that can't come into a contract because you have to have an adult do business for you, right? So we keep accepting that we're minorities and that we're minors. So they do business for us because we don't do business for ourselves. So as a group, we act like they're children. If you were
Ooh.
if you were going if you were going into business, would you send your 10-year-old child to talk for you? No, you wouldn't. That's how we're being treated. We like children that come to them with problems, but they don't listen to you because they're going to do what they're going to do anyway because they're the adults. So we'll make a fuss every 4 years, like a child.
Every other 2.
Or every other 2 years.
You know what? No, take that back. You're right. Every 4. Nobody ever goes with the midterms, but go ahead.
Right. So we'll make a fuss, but because we don't actionalize ourselves as adults, we don't have a plan, we don't have an agenda. We just want to fuss about what they're not doing for us.
You play the victim.
How they play the victim, how they're being bad parents. And so until we humanize ourselves and see that we are on equal standing, I don't have to ask for civil rights. I don't have to ask for human rights because I am a human. I take my rights. See, we act like we have to receive rights from these people. We don't. We're humans. We have the same capability as they. So for me, arguing about what they don't give me, what I can't get, that's silly to me. You don't argue that for you, like when you go get something, you don't argue and say, hey man, I'm an adult. I want that car. Can I have that car? No, you just go buy the car. You go buy the house. You invest like you want to because you're an adult. And you are in control of yourself. When we're together, we're not a group of adults. We're a group of minors.
I can't deal with you no more. You hit it on the head. God, that was so. Oh, dude,
Wow.
No,
But I mean,
no, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense because we keep being told we're the minority here at 13%, and that all these migrants is coming here to replace who we are, not knowing that they are kinfolk because indigenous people are indigenous people.
right.
But we just have a language barrier, so that's why we, tend to not see eye to eye on a lot of different things. And then plus, it's a different culture also. But now it makes sense. We keep looking to them as our gatekeepers to get us to the promised land at who we are. We don't even believe in who we are as ourselves. So it's kind of like when you have when they presented, Obama, for one,
Right,
he had to come out of Chicago, which was
right,
like, wait a minute, dude was born in Hawaii. Chicago? Really? So you had to make him seem like he come out of the hardest city.
right,
Then we have our current VP, who is Miss Harris, Vice P. Harris, and she came out of Compton? She came out of LA. So she comes out of a hard region and to become what they are, which I mean, they did what they did.
right,
But neither one of them is an indigenous to America.
right.
So neither one of them speaks for us. Neither one of them are us. Because of our skin color, you consider us the same. If you're not indigenous to America, then what?
Facts.
We're not on the same team. We got the same color. We might be part of this black race that was created back in the 1600s as a division to separate poor black people and poor white people. But that's a whole different ball game. That's a whole different spectrum of. That's a whole different podcast in itself. But at the same time, we as a people need to understand who we are. This is our land. And yes, it was taken from us. And we keep giving it away by trying to join a frat or a seniority. Was that saying not seniority? What's the female group?
A sorority.
Sorority.
Yes.
We trying to join them to say, hey, we want to be down with y'all.
Right.
Why? Be yourself. Be who you are. They don't make you poor for a reason. They don't take resources out of your neighborhood. They do that because they've been trying to break us and cripple us for decades. And we're
Well,
still here.
because we say break. Because if you break,
They trying.
let me say it like this. They're trying to exact a level of control on you, right? They
Mhm.
want to keep you in starvation mode. They don't want to kill you, but they want to keep you in starvation mode. Because when they keep you in starvation mode, you'll take anything that they give you, right? And so you're in this. You have this control. I wanted to say this too about minorities before we got too far past it.
Go ahead, man. Do your
Is
thing.
is that now? Just think about that.
Mhm.
Minorities. You've been a 13% of the United States for over 200 years. That number has not fluctuated in 200 years. You've been 13% of the population.
13%.
And what gets me is that when I'm home and I run into Ray got 10 kids. When I run into Pookie got 14 kids. And then I talk to Billy Bob, he got 11 kids. So how in the world are we still at 13% when everybody I know got multiple children? And then when you look at the strategy of how they move in the United States, where are all the abortion clinics? They're
Planned
near
Parenthood.
they're near black neighborhoods, urban neighborhoods, right? Where are the fertilization clinics at? Near them, right? So they're trying to stop us from having, and they can't have. But the number has stayed at 13% for 200 years.
Yeah, this whole anti-abortion. Did it backfire? You never think about that though. When it comes to political, just think about it.
Right.
Abortions has been a big topic, but it was put in place to slow down the black growth spurt.
Exactly.
The opioid pandemic was put in place. Now opiums and drugs, we need to help. We need to help. But then during the crack era, you didn't give two shits
Because of who it's affecting.
because of who it's affecting.
Hey,
Now, now is these migrants is taking over. So now it's an immigration thing. But then I'm like, if we're going by history, y'all the immigrants.
Oh yeah.
But I mean,
Look,
but again, we don't care about the past but when the past needs to be brought up, that's when we bring up the past. But go ahead.
no, I guess it falls into I guess it falls into politics because it is. But when you talk about migration, right, and this immigration, that's all fear tactics uh, for the Caucasians, right? Um, because by definition, migrants or the migrant workers come into the United States and then they go work, then they go home, right? So I mean that's been happening for a century. So what's the real problem? You know what I'm saying? So what's the real problem?
No,
Because
because I mean, we got to think about it. Our country, our nation has put those countries in the position that they are.
yeah,
Um, because of the war on drugs. The war on drugs was on black people, but it also was on people from South America and Central America also.
true indeed. But let's
Go
look
ahead.
at it like this.
Go
Look
ahead.
at it
I'm
like
going.
this. Um, how many people are flooding the Canadian border? Are these Canadians just flocking to the US because it's so much better? No, they're not. So in Mexico, you gotta wonder why are wouldn't the Mexican government be like, man, we're losing all our population. We need to help the United States control this border,
Mhm.
right? But you never hear about that. And you never hear about Mexico is one of the racist countries below our borders. Ask any Guatemalan that tried to get into Mexico. If you're dark Guatemalan, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna happen. You got to go back. You know, inside of Mexico, it's extremely racist. They're really about that colorism.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But we never look at, why did they have strong borders against everybody else, but they allow their people to come to the United States. So you can't be one way with one thing and another way with the other. So my thing is, why is the United States not looking more into Mexico? But if you're not having these relationships with Mexico, then that means you're a part of what they're doing.
You letting it happen.
You're letting it happen, but they're giving you the front. They're giving you that.
You're not
No,
protecting
no,
our
no,
border.
no. I ain't gonna say false flag, but it's like, they're like, oh, these borders are being overrun, blah da 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 da. But you got the world's largest military. If you needed to stop the border from being that way, we could
Easy.
easily. So
With the technology.
exactly. So for me, it's like I've always said it. It's like going to see David Copperfield. You're looking at the stage, but he's moving the elephant around. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, man, how'd he make that elephant disappear? And you're so fascinated in the show that you're really missing the mechanics of what's going on. And that's us in America. All this is going on, right?
Mhm.
Ukraine, uh, um, Trump, Biden, all these other little different things. But we're worried about who Cat Williams gonna call out next. We're worried about
TikTok.
TikTok, all these different little things, and we're so easily distracted. That's why illusion works so good in America, because we're
Mm.
easily distracted. And they just keep moving around these pieces. and then they're in place, and then we're mad because they didn't do this, or they created this law, or they had this injunction. What was you paying attention to?
How did it slip by?
Right? How did this slip? And because we don't have a political group that's together for us and looking after our interests, things are going to continue to slip by because we have nobody that watches, for our interests. We expect Republicans to do it. We expect Democrats to do it. When were they ever designed to take care of you? When was that their design? It's not. So if they're not taking care of you, that means we should be self-sustaining. I mean, if you look at any black leader, and I ain't hating on nobody, but you pick your favorite black leader, when have they ever came up with a plan that sets us up with a lobbying group, that sets us up with an initiative group, that sets us up with an action group? For when these things happen, we can move on it. Or when we see things about to happen, we can cut it off.
Because the government will jump in and destroy it.
Exactly. Thank you. But we allow these things to happen to us, B. Because everything is on video today.
Everything.
So we can, even though they try, it can be documented. It can be live to the world as it's happening. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have the initiative to put that type of grouping together.
I think they found a way. This is me being conspiracy theory.
Yeah, it's fine. We're just talking.
We just talking. So was that cell phone outage a reason that we can we can stop stuff from being moved? We can control, because if we notice other countries like China or like Russia that controls what media or what's been put out there, but we always have our First Amendment, freedom of speech. Are we trying to find a way to eliminate that, in a sense? Because every time they do something, they kind of give you a warning that's happening.
Oh, yeah.
And then it happens. And it goes down.
That's the law.
Because we heard about COVID coming, but did we do anything about COVID? No. Until COVID hit here, it was like, oh, that shit's real. Oh, we thought it was just that people were just talking about it.
But I think that goes to the point of what I'm saying with you, B, is like, because we don't have this group, because we don't have this communication between one another, everything's reactional. We react after it happens. Oh, I heard that. I couldn't believe it's real. So you've been hearing stuff for the last 60 years, and it's been happening to you. But this you don't believe? I mean, I find it hard, just to comprehend sometimes how we can be together on the littlest issues. You know what I'm saying? So
we'll find somebody. Say, for instance, me and you put something up together,
right?
And we got a movement going. We got a wave of people joining our cause,
right?
It's going to be somebody that's trying to bring us down. It's something that somebody wants to bring up that happened 10, 15, 20 years ago,
right?
Or somebody going to be like, oh, when this is this, or you might even just bring up, the past, what happened when you was in high school. What type of person would you in kindergarten? What type,
right?
They might go to your job, ask your former workers, hey, how was this person then? They always trying to find something negative.
Oh, yeah.
To tear you down. When you trying to rally a 13%, we say it that way, to use the power that they have. And like you always talk about it, economically, money that we control, that we have, that we spend. Trust me, I did it this weekend. The buying power. but it's not as easily because the damage has been done when it comes to the household. And when I say the household, because they always want us to be separate. They always want us to be apart. They don't want the black male and the black female to be in the house together and working to build. We got to find a way to get this thing, separation. It's always dividing our families, the black family. Always been fighting. So it comes to a point is when we going to realize and stop letting these faults. For one, is pay attention to who you listen to. Pay attention to the music that you listen to, and are you looking at that person? Stop giving entertainers that power. They just you. We have the entertainers. We have think about it, look who we some everybody rides Kanye West.
Yeah.
For what? This is one man who's
Right.
telling you what he feels. You could do the same thing too. Don't ride his coattail and be like, yo, my man's right. This is what you find out if he's right or wrong. Don't just because of what's happening to him that you say, oh, because they doing this and doing that to him, he must be doing this and doing that. Yes and no. But at the same time, you voice it. You voice how you feel. You put your voice out there. Or are
Right.
you too scared for somebody to silence it? Because that's what has happened to us in the past.
I think I think you dead on. When we speak out as a people, and especially because we have the internet, we've been set as a culture to attack each other. I don't care what it's about, hair, weight, color, we just attack each other. When somebody was saying something, it's like, well, how can he say this when he said this back in 1974, right? And we just don't look to support one another. That's not the thing. Gossip and drama seems to drive us more than healing and helping. You mentioned the black family, and I thought about something that was interesting. You said, that the government had a plan on how to tear us apart, right? They could tear the family apart so easily because they had already disrupted our communities.
Mm.
And what I mean by that is, like, if somebody was to go into a family, we could go to the neighbors and then sit there, talk to them for some days, or it's cool because they're like family. And then you could come back home and you could work things out. But now, when people are disrupted, where do they have to go? There's no community. There's no support. There's nobody to fall back on. There's nobody to mentor them. There's nobody to guide them. So the village part has left, and village was a mindset, not a place. So we don't have this village mindset. Case in point, a man and a woman have a child. Now they're not together, right? Why they still can't have the same views on how to raise the child?
Mm.
Why they still can't work as a team to raise the child?
It's no team no more.
There's no team. There's no village no more. We don't think like a village anymore. It's all about self and what you done to me. And because you done this to me, I can't work with you. I can't work with your family. I can't work with your people. So
They made a valid point. Go ahead.
So they've taken out this whole thought of village. Like I said, village is not a place. Village is a simple mindset of all of us over them. You see what I'm saying? But we don't have that because we so dependent on them for everything that we do. Right? Like, okay, you was talking earlier, you said the world looks to us for things, right?
Mm-hmm.
They look to us for fashion, right?
Mm-hmm.
but fashion has to be approved by them.
Mm.
They look for us for music, but music has to be approved by them. You know, what gets played on the radio, there's not one black man in America that approves that.
Mm.
Even though we're probably 75% of the content.
Think about the Super Bowl, the last 3 halftime shows.
Right.
We know it's an uproar and people complaining. You know, the other side is like, yo, what the hell? Why is it always? Because we are dominating everything.
We are. But here's the crazy thing about that, man. Rap music. Let's take rap music, for example, right? Rap music.
Today's rap music?
Rap music in general.
Okay.
So we dominate rap music, right? We're probably like 99% of that, right?
Yeah. Give him Eminem. That's about it.
But that's one person.
That's one person.
Out of how many thousands, right?
Good point.
So we're probably 99% of that. Now here's the crazy thing. Guess who buys most of the rap music?
Yeah.
They do. Not us.
Because they want to live something that they can't see themselves being a part of.
So that's why I say is that, yeah, we may generate the content, but we don't have the approval.
Mm. I got a question for you.
What's up?
Well, not isn't a question, it's a statement. Now you're making sense when you said the village. When you attack a village, what's the main person that you're trying to take out?
You're trying to take out the strongest men and the chief.
So we have watched them take the village
All
at
the
the
chiefs.
village
All
at
our
the village.
chiefs.
So we watch our country crumble because of you take off, and then you scalp them. You take their head off, you scalp them, and you show them as a
Public.
But most of the time it's one of us kind of backstab the chief and wants to be the chief and was told, you take your chief out, we award you with this, and then come to find out you get stabbed in the back too.
Exactly.
But now it's down to the household. You can't even be a chief at your own house. You can't even run your own house. Your kids run your house now. Because they have the power, because they gave them the power. Your mom and dad is not doing what you like.
Right.
Come tell us and we can see what we can do to work that out.
Right.
So you give in as much as you keep talking about us, you keep taking away the power for instance, for example, the Middle East.
Right.
When Gaddafi and Saddam was in power, they kept that region controlled, correct? They kept that region in check.
Right.
The minute you chop their heads off, look what the hell we're dealing with now. A bunch of other people that want to be them is running, and you just can't kill them because it's kind of like when you see an anthill, you see 1 or 2 ants coming in and out. Kick that anthill and watch everybody go and everybody just scattered everywhere. That's where we at right now. You chop their heads off and you show them that we killed your leader.
But
think about it. Who was the ones that killed these leaders?
Of course.
Our country.
Of course.
Our country.
But the thing about the ants is you can kick over the ant mound, right? But they immediately, without thought, start to rebuild.
Because you didn't get that queen.
So there's always that, and that she's always underground, and she's always guarded.
Protected at all times.
We don't guard our people. We don't guard our national treasures. We try to pick and see what they've done wrong. You know, and when I want to get back to what you were saying about scalping.
Not bad. That's just,
no. You right on. When you was talking about scalping, right?
Yeah.
So that's like public humiliation, right?
Gotta do it. So
just think about just from the Diddy thing. people want to hear all the drama, but people are not looking that they're publicly scalping people, that they're publicly buck busting.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like to further show that you don't have good leadership in this country, and I'm talking about as a so-called black. It shows you that everybody that you had established as at the top are really all vipers.
No, because when you say that, you have the Diddy situation, which correlated somehow. TD Jakes got mixed in it, so now he's under attack, and he's supposed to be one of the top black ministers basically in the country and in the
That's
world.
what I'm talking about.
So he getting attacked. Then you have Cat Williams just slide people. Everybody likes drama. Everybody likes to see somebody get torn down.
Exactly.
And everybody's waiting for it. Now, now Monique is saying what she's saying because of these people who we keep looking at and keep putting up on a pedestal ain't worthy to be on that pedestal. It's just the fact that they got money. If they broke, you ain't listening to them.
No. Oh, we ain't been trained to do that. We don't train to hear good information. We're trained to, okay, how much money you got? Okay, I'll listen to you then. Look at how
No, come on, man.
Bro, I can't even go into what they're doing to our women.
Oh, it's
that is like, it's tragic, man. It's like that. We have to do that for another show. But
we need some women involved too.
Yeah, we need some women. We need some women
opinions on that.
We'll get into that. But how we are being manipulated is what I don't like. The timing of everything is just why 2024. Why are we going into an election year? But now you're so caught up and confused about your own community that you ain't got time to put together a plan to get our community to a different place. Now we question our leadership. That's what we're doing. People that were prominent leaders are now being put into question.
Has the veil been ripped?
But you're about to go into, well, if you had any common sense, you should already knew these things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because why? They're powerful inside of somebody else's system. So if you're powerful inside of somebody else's system, that means you were allowed to be there. You have to, those gates that got you to the top are the same gates that they're putting people through. So if you got somebody that's in power inside of their system, trust me, they had to go through those gates.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you surprised that these people are doing that when they have been doing this in their society forever? I'm talking about inside of their society. That's how they roll. So if you're powerful inside of their society, then you pass through those gates. Ain't no questions. Why would they allow you to be independently rich inside of their system? Then you could teach everybody below you. If you were independently rich, the fear is that you would teach those that are below you.
What's going on, Brother Rothrow? Peace,
brother. So, because if they think of it from this perspective, if they were free, right? And I'm talking about, who I'm talking about when I say independently rich, the ones. Why haven't you put a plan together to put our people in a different space?
Because you don't care.
Because you were given that seat. Why would you want to lose it? You're not wanting to lose it. You were given that seat.
So this is what gets me when they say Black people are more successful than they were back then. They start naming out people, oh, they got money, they do this, they do that. But then when you go back and you're looking at, the 1920s and 30s and 40s, especially the 1920s, we was more successful then than we are now because we worked as a community. We worked as a group. We worked as a team. We we only basically fucked around with our own people. We didn't need y'all. We showed y'all what we can do. And if we saying this happened within 30 years of being free, makes you question a lot of
What's
things
mm,
about this whole who were
mm.
we, this whole slavery movement and everything about that. It makes you question even what was the Civil War about? Especially when everybody can't even give you an answer. They can't even give you an answer.
That's because they don't know. Reconstruction was the reconstruction of history. That's the only thing that happened, not the reconstruction of this country. So let me ask you this, because we talk about freedom, right?
Uh-huh.
And being free.
Uh-huh.
That means that you had at some point a lack of power, right?
Uh-huh.
And see, power is not a real thing. Power is in your mind.
Uh-huh.
Power is what you give. You have to give someone your power for them to have power over you.
Facts.
So when did we give up mental power to them? Because our strength has never changed. And see, they know our strength is never changed. They know our strength is more than theirs. That's why they mentally control you.
That's a good question.
They can't physically control you because they're not strong enough. So they mentally control you. You give your power over to them. We have to come to a point to realize how much power we have. We starting to realize how much financial power we have, but we're so unfocused. We take our financial power and just spend, 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 spend. We don't invest and build. You know what I mean? We could take, like I said, I think now we've slipped down to maybe eighth or ninth on the GDP in the world. And I'm talking about so-called black people in America. But we have enough spending money to be a country inside of a country. But
Which we were.
we were, but no, 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 no. We were the country. They
Okay.
were inside us. But they figured out how to mind swap. And that's, bruh, when I say mind swap, I'm talking about if you had a civilized man and then you had a savage and you swap their minds, the civilized man, of course, is going to act like a savage. And the one that was a savage still has those tendencies, but
Mhm.
they get to be civilized.
Mm. Mm. No, because I mean, God, you're clicking right now, and it's kind of scary because now if you're not understanding and seeing the picture, you really, oh, that's your fault.
It is.
Because if they, this is when I realize how crazy it is. If this man can come to, if you thinking sneakers is the way to communicate with the black people, is really letting you know how stupid we are.
It is. We're simple. We've gotten so
Basic.
into materialism, right?
Mhm.
That our minds think in a manner of materialism. Um, like if you were to stop some young people, a man or a woman, and you stop these young people and you ask them, what is the most interesting quality in the person that you want to be with? It's going to be something materialistic. Well, I need to have a man that makes this amount of money.
Mm.
I need a woman that looks like this. I need a woman everything's going to be driven by materialistic things. It's not going to be driven by can we build together? It's not going to be built on how incorporated are they into the community. You know, it's not going to be those things because we've been taught to be. We don't. First of all, we have low self-esteem as a people. That's why we're so dependent on what they think. That's why we're so dependent on should they approve it. What kind of help are they going to give us?
The
You know what
flashy.
I'm saying?
We always got to be seen.
Yeah, right. But see that's an approval thing. If you have to be seen all the time, you have to be acknowledged, right? We
Uh-huh.
got low self-esteem as a whole group. You know what I'm saying? That's why shaming people and drama is so big in our community. It's because we all have low self-esteem. And you want to see somebody get put lower than you to make you feel better about yourself.
Oh.
The whole thing on Village, man, was destroyed. And it's because you didn't take care of the youth. And because the youth didn't feel the warmth of the community, then they're going to set the village on fire to feel the warmth of it burning down. And that's what we're looking at.
I know we was talking off air about Black Lives Matter
Yeah.
and the fear that they put in this country. And again, we wasn't behind it. I know I wasn't behind it. You wasn't behind it because black means nothing. Black means it depends on the mindset that you look at. Black can be powerful, but then at the same time, the way they was using it is black as being the lowest, the nothingness of who it is. So we watch people, we watch corporations back them, and they and the fear of what they put in this country, and it just died off.
Well, it died off because it was never us.
It was never us behind it. It was a
Right.
bunch of, it was a way, it was a money grab. It had it could have been bigger.
Oh, it could have been a good thing. Um, of course, we don't go by the moniker of black.
Uh-huh.
That's why I always try to preface it as so-called black
Uh-huh.
because just so we can understand who we're talking about or who the group is or who the general group is because it's sectioned inside of it. Not everybody is the same people. Um, um, but it died because it wasn't us supporting it. Think about it like this. When is the last time you heard of the NAACP doing anything?
Damn.
You know why? They wasn't started by us either. So there's always these groups that's going to pop up. And if they get national attention all the time, then guess what? They was not started by us and they're not funded by us. Because that would be the last thing that they would do is put on air a group that actually has a correct agenda and an agenda to change lives. If they mattered so much, then how many of the lives did they change?
I
So
see that. I mean, I seen that with the the Black Panthers and how the government had to infiltrate and destroy that group because they was empowering young. They had the youth. They
yeah,
had the
they were a
young.
community group, man.
Now we the only say black group that we have now is the Nation of Islam under the leadership of Louis Farrakhan, Minister Louis Farrakhan. And again, from where we being from down south, that was taboo.
Right.
Couldn't listen to him. He makes valid points. If you join the organization, it does change your life, or it gets you understanding self and who you are as a person, and understanding what you are and what you are capable of doing. But this shit that happened down in South Carolina this Saturday, this black caucus for Republicans.
Hey, let me say this. And I'm trying to.
That shit pissed me off.
We'll get to that. Just put a
All
pin
right,
on
all
it.
right, all right.
Just put a pin in it.
All
Put a
right,
pin in
just,
it.
we can get back to that.
Put a
I
pin
don't
in
think we
it.
need to go back to that because I'm gonna get pissed again. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Just put a pin right there. Let me just say this
I got
about leadership in America for us. If I want to say this to the camera, so if you were a people that were subjugated inside of the country or a country, and you were giving no rights as far as how to better yourself, you were given the worst conditions of food, you were given the worst conditions of clothing, you were given the worst condition of housing. You wasn't even allowed to educate yourself, right? But I have this book, and it talks about a higher power. You can call him God. A higher power that told you, love your enemy. That your enemy will spitefully use you, but you gotta love him anyway. They were giving you this book. Now you have other leaders that look like you, but they use this same book that your slave owners use. And nothing has changed. So even though somebody may speak eloquently and they may be great, but I can't join something that a slave owner had and used to control me. They didn't only have Bibles, they had Qurans too.
True.
So if the book has never changed, how can the ideology change? Because the ideology comes from the same book. Now, the only thing that would be different is perspective, and perspective is gained through time. So you've had more time, so it's changed your perspective, but it's still the same ideology because it's still the same books during slavery time that you're using today. Translation means nothing. That just makes it easier to say to you. It's the same ideology, right? There's a passage. It's found in two places in the Bible, and we're not going to be spiritual, but it is Sunday, so you can give me some leeway. There's two passages. It's found in two Gospels. They're the exact same passages, and what it talks about is Jesus, who went out into the wilderness. He went out there for 40 days, and suddenly Satan came to him, and he asked him three things. We know, turn this rock into bread if you're hungry, throw yourself down, and the angels will save you. But the third one, it says that he took him up onto a pinnacle, right? And he said, look down onto all these kingdoms of the earth. He said, I would give you these kingdoms if you bow down and worship me, right? Here's the interesting thing. In Luke's version is totally different. At the end, he says, when it's real slick, but you got to listen to what he says. He says, look down onto these kingdoms. He said, and I will give them freely unto you because they were freely given unto me. Just bow down and worship me. Now, this is what I'm getting to, is that us as a people had these kingdoms. We gave these kingdoms away to who? It says Satan. Satan is also referred to as the serpent that was in the garden. And the serpent was eloquent in how he spoke. The serpent was beguiling with how he spoke. So we were talked and beguiled into giving away our power. We were taught and beguiled into giving away our strength. These kingdoms were ours. He says, I would give you these kingdoms because they were freely given unto me. I didn't even have to go to war with these people. I didn't even have to fight these people. They gave me their kingdoms. Now, all I want from you is your worship, and I'll give it to you. So, what do people worship? Man, they worship money. They worship money. They worship money. That's what creates materialism. Materialism separates people because I want more money than you. I don't want to come together with you and make money. I want to have more money so I can say I got more than you. So it separated our kingdoms because our kingdoms were built to hold each other up. Our kingdoms were built to educate our people. Our kingdoms were built to strengthen our families. Our kingdoms were built to protect everyone. But we listen to Satan, that serpent, that one that didn't look like us, but his words were eloquent. And we gave them the kingdom. So we're always talking about what we got to do to get it back. It's always ours because they cannot take it by war.
And now it's time for the collection. Offering time.
And like I said, it's not even spiritual. I want you to see the metaphor in that whole thing because it's what it is. It's a metaphor, but we missed the metaphor because we're caught up in somebody's.
I got you, but
you know what I'm saying?
Still, it's offering time.
Yeah, because that's what we're trained to do. And what did you say? Collection time, right? So what is that?
Because that's you did money. What you did because of
that's the money.
Yeah.
So you hear something eloquent, and you're ready to give the money up.
I mean, it makes sense though. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. And then we're not realizing that we constantly giving ourselves away. That's why I always push self. Understand who you are as a self first. Then you branch out and you go here to here. But if you don't understand who you are, you just a robot.
Right.
You're a slave. You that slave that will do anything master says versus you're not a slave that will fight back. Again, us as a people are been in survival mode. And once we get out of survival mode, then we can look at or mentally get out of survival mode. Not physically, but mentally get out of that. Because everything is driven off emotions right now. Right. I don't feel this way. I don't feel that way. I feel like maybe what y'all saying right now is too much and I'm offended. And it's all about feelings.
You are.
Huh?
I hope they are offended. Because when you're offended, it makes you think,
So certainly, no. It used to. Now, if I'm offended, it's whatever I feel. And I have the right to be offended. And I have a right to say, you canceled.
Right. But that's the whole drama thing. If I can't hold you down because you're telling the truth, then I'm going to cancel you so nobody else can hear it. But
you see how crazy that shit is, though?
Yeah, but that's the world we live in, B. That's the world we live in. Nobody wants truth. They say they do, but nobody wants truth.
50 years ago, dude, you probably get punched in the face.
Right.
You get punched in the face quick.
Right.
20 years ago, you probably get punched in the face.
Right.
What? But now it's if we see that within our individuals, what you think this nation is? Because we weak right now. We weak. That's why everybody's picking on us. That's why everybody's taunting us.
Right.
But then at the same time, We're a country that worry about everybody else's problems versus our own problems.
Right.
Because I tell you what, though, let me go outside this country. The first thing they do, they sit there and laugh and they say, "Man, your country is crazy." And I'll be like, "It is. It is." And this is a little embarrassing. I ain't gonna fucking lie. It is. When that's all they say because of what the media has shown or what has this country's been in the last 12 years. 10 years has been just like fucking freak show. Something to laugh at. Something. It's like going to the zoo. I need these animals to entertain me.
Right.
I need these animals who are not in their captivity, who are not in my now, who are in captivity, but not in their natural habitat. Watch them adapt of being caged up. That's what we are right now.
Right.
That's what we are as a people. We're in
I,
a zoo. Every major city is a zoo, and you're just watching the animals act up
right.
because they're not
Right.
in their natural habitat. But go ahead.
No, we gotta have. I know we done a show on the crabs in the bucket, but
Well, you want to start that series up again? I ain't got no problem.
but
That's
yeah,
last year. That was
right.
last year.
We'll go into it. 'Cause I got a little different spin than I had last time. But you said earlier, slaves that do and slaves that do not, right?
Mhm.
See, here's my thing. I think that's why us as people, we have different sets of people inside of us, but we characterize or generalize all of us as the same thing. When you say slaves, right? We only had a few slaves. There was only a few slaves because a slave is someone that gives in to the master and someone that is subservient to the master. That's a slave. Everybody else is a prisoner of war because they fight against the captivity.
Mhm.
So they're not slaves. Their name slave will be put upon them, but they're not. They're prisoners of war.
Mhm.
And until we can identify who we are as how we fit inside of America, we can never go forward because you still got everything comes from a slave mentality. We're, when we're sitting here talking and what we're talking about, we were never slaves, bro.
Good point. Fucking
We were
great
never
point.
slaves. We would never be classified as slaves.
But we have been taught to be that. We
Right.
have been taught and never
And that's a
changed that
mentality.
mindset.
That's
Yeah,
a
it's a
mentality. They
mentality.
give you
Yeah.
this slave mentality. When you get out of the slave mentality, when you get out of this helplessness field and understand that you can create your own destiny. And when I say you, I'm talking about as a people, we can create our own destiny. We're stronger together than we'll ever be apart.
Sure.
Because when you look at any entertainment, and I don't care if it's from musical to sports to whatever type of entertainment, right? They're always celebrated individually,
Mhm.
right? They're never celebrated together as something they're doing to move the art forward. It's always something individual. So we're so used to seeing a star sitting up on the stage, right?
Mhm.
And we're always used to looking up, and so we've learned to idolize too much. You know what I'm saying? We idolize a person instead of idolizing the talent.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So we're so relevant with the person. Like when somebody does something, like when you were talking about earlier, with TD Jakes, right? We act like we know him personally. We don't know this dude. Those things you heard, you know what I'm saying? But you don't know him personally. Why you hurt, offended, shocked, and all these different things when you don't know this person?
Mm.
Anybody is capable of anything.
But you also got to see who they pushing forward in the media.
Right. Because somebody's always going to take the place. They allowed that person to be embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody's going to replace them. That's just how it works.
Mm.
It works just like that. And if there's nobody worthy enough for them to put in place and control, they'll redeem him. That's how it works. And us, we follow along, blind as ever. So I don't know.
It's funny. It's funny. It's funny.
But yeah, man, it's just like I said, the basic thing is understanding that we're human. Humans have the right to exist on this earth because the earth is for them. The sun is for them. Hue, man. Hue meaning color, man.
Mm.
Children of the sun.
And the sun rises every day.
Every day. The sun gives life to everything. I find it funny that you trust things that the sun is trying to kill. I just find that funny, man. You trust more the thing that the sun is trying to kill, and the sun comes up every day to give you life.
Wow.
That's all I'm saying.
Wow.
That's all I'm saying, man.
Wow. Man. Hey,
they'll catch that in about 5 years.
Yeah. If you didn't catch it, that lets you know you're still in that mentality that needs to breaking out of.
Right.
Oh, wow. Damn. I don't know what to say after that one. Let's see, brother, the same way they make slaves today is the same way they made slaves before. That is true, Mr. Rothrow. It's funny because, again, this year you know what? What's the most important thing this year supposed to happen? They ain't said nothing about you changing who you are or you better who you are. It's a presidential election.
Right.
That's all. Nothing
That's keeping you confused, B.
Nothing else. This is the year for you to, it's your breakout year. This is the year you become whatever dreams that you put in place or whatever seeds that you planted is supposed to become prosperous. They ain't telling you none of that shit. All they tell you about is you got to go vote. If my vote is that damn important, tell me why. Tell me why. I want to know. I want to know, what is it that you're doing? Show me why you feel like I need to be part of your team.
Oh, you know what? See, that's the problem. I ain't
I'm
asking. No, I ain't saying you wrong. I'm saying that's the problem. Stop asking them what they need you to do. We need to have together. This is what I want.
No. I understand. But I mean, for me,
no, listen to me like this. Just listen to this part because your boy, Donnie T, he was like, he said in his first time in office, if y'all blacks come to me and talk, we'll get some things done. Ain't that what he said about to y'all blacks? So why don't you have 8 years later, have an agenda? And if you want our vote, this is what's going to happen. You said you'll do it. You said all we have to do is come talk to you. I'm not coming to talk and discuss anything. I'm bringing their plan of action. Can you get this plan of action done? Sign off on it. If you can't sign off on it, you don't get our vote.
It's funny. Ice Cube was talking about that, and they attacked him quick.
Of course, because that's not what they want you to do. It ain't black people attacking him. It's who paid those black people to attack him.
True.
But we don't see that. We don't see that.
It's funny.
Even though they've been doing this for 400 years to us, we don't see it. Surely not today. Surely not in these times.
Education sucks. We've been, never thought about it. If education's so bad, they're trying to get you back to the point of you not thinking, getting you back into the point of you can be tortured to be smart. You get tortured to be talk proper. You get tortured when you talk proper. You talking white. You're not talking white. You're just talking. You have to be a certain way to be part of this movement. In other words, back to the mentality. I have to. What's acting black?
There's no such thing. We're not black.
Enough said.
Here's the crazy thing, B. We are, as humans, creatures of habit.
True.
We're creatures of habit. You know, we like to put things into motion and we don't change it. We stay. You know what I'm saying? I eat the same time every day. I go to work at the same time every day. You know, I do this at the same time every day because we're creatures of habit. So being the creatures of habit, the only thing that would change the habit is when you have intelligent people to give you a different perspective or a different plan on what you need to change, right? And then you'll change it and you'll keep it as a habit. That's why they take intelligent black men and get rid of them.
Ooh.
Because they don't want somebody that gives you a better plan to adjust your life. They'll have you look at them, he thinks he's smarter than you. He thinks he's more intelligent than you. Don't listen to him. So what he's intelligent. He's not trying to help you. Or she is not trying to help you.
But you run him out of the community and he never comes back because of the way you treated him.
Right. And see, because we're creatures of habit, we just keep on to we're listening to the wrong ones, first of all. How can anybody outside of you, somebody that looks like you, have you as a priority in their lives? If they don't look like you, how can they prioritize you?
We always been controlled like that. Again, you run the smart people out of your community and never come back. They don't want to come back because of what they went through growing up. So now they'll go to another community and build that community. You know,
right.
Or we can't think for ourselves. We need music. We need music to tell us who we are. I do. It's hard, man. God damn it, it's so hard. And listen, I can't get off of. I mean, I can understand what our parents was going through when we was listening to hip hop,
right?
Or, you know, and I mean the hip hop back then. I mean, in the '80s was fun. It was party. It was being free, but it was not staying on code.
Right.
Then we get into the '90s and we get to the gangster rap, and everybody wants to be gangster. Everybody wants to be this. Now I don't know what the fuck we on now, man.
Now you know what's crazy? What's crazy is because, like I said, we're always being controlled and manipulated, right? So even with the word, let's say the word gangster, right? So when you probably got introduced to the word, I'm assuming a lot here. When you got introduced to the word gangster, it was when The Godfather came out in like 70, 71. Scarface was like 71. No, it's a little later than that. It was after Godfather.
Yeah, right? Godfather was your basic one, yeah.
Yeah. So Godfather. So in The Godfather, the gangsters had one thing above anything else.
Money.
Family.
Oh, yeah.
They said never go against the family. I don't care what it is, what happens, who does what goes down. Never go against the family. So when we became gangsters, where'd family go? That was rule number one as a gangster. Never go against the family.
Everybody wanted to be a gangster because everybody wanted to be in control.
So if you're a gangster, where's the family part then?
Because you're off code.
Because it's not you.
Yeah.
You doing what was given to you. They gave you, they sat down and they came up with a plan on what we're gonna say a gangster is and how a gangster is gonna act, right? So, okay, so tell me how in anybody's right mind, if we're gonna start a genre of music, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we're gonna headline it with a group called Niggas with an Attitude.
You had to go against Public Enemy.
I got you. But I'm saying we can't see this as design. Niggas with an attitude. Then you got the Pimp Life with Too Short.
Come on, man. Too Short was the shit back then.
That's because that's what you was attracted to. I get you. But listen to what he's talking about, though. Just go back and listen.
I know, but
I used to love it too.
This shit was hard. This shit was hard then.
But you know why? Because you didn't love yourself the way you love yourself now. So you saw it through those same eyes as he did. But
once that's what you saw on the street.
The street, what does the street mean, man?
The reason why I'm saying that, with me being from Carolina and as country where we were, what the fuck was being gangster? Everybody knew everybody in the city. Everybody knew everybody's parents. So it's kind of like you embarrassing your family.
That's what the gangsters was talking about. That's why Michael had to kill his own brother. You embarrassing the family.
You embarrassing the family. Damn.
He killed his own brother. He loved his brother, man.
I mean, think about the whole thing. Scarface. He killed his best friend.
Right.
Over family.
God
damn it. Jonah made me look at the Godfather and fucking.
But we got it twisted, man. We don't care about our family, our community. Gangsters, these Italian gangsters held the Italian community in the highest regard. They kept everybody away from the Italian community. They were Catholics. They even attended services all the time. If you look at a gangster family, one of the sons is going to become a priest. The others are gangsters. He's the priest. He forgives them. You know what I'm saying?
One becomes a lawyer. They educate themselves within their community.
Inside their community. But we don't do that. We call ourselves gangsters and we'll shoot our neighbors. We'll sell drugs to our neighbors.
We'll shoot the person that's trying to build.
Right. Because we feel that they're competition with us. Even if you look at the gangsters in The Godfather, the competition worked with you. They came to the table and sat down. He said, I want this place right here. Well, I'll give you this place, but you're gonna have to give me 20%. Right? And they were against each other and opposed to each other, but they sat down at the table and worked together.
Facts.
We don't do that.
We're still at ground zero.
Because we're being led by the enemy, bruh. We think that anytime you look at our community and we do something, but it doesn't uplift the community, that's not your thought. You were given that thought by somebody.
Good point. God damn it. Good point. God damn it. We're on fire today. And we on fire today. Well, it makes sense because if you destroy the family, it's like if you kill the queen, all the ants die.
Right.
Or they looking for another queen.
Right.
So that's even with the bees. The bees is the same way. You take care of the queen. Everybody else is just robots. But nobody protects the queen.
Right.
They protect the queen, but we as a group don't protect the queen.
No. Well, see, the
Well,
thing is,
we play chess and we don't even know how to play it.
right. And we keep losing. We don't understand, right? But if you look at now, we get into chess another day. But we don't strategize at all. You know what I'm saying? And you don't strategize when you don't have a purpose. We ain't got a purpose as a community. We just surviving. We day to day. We eat when we can. You know, we don't have a purpose on why we're here. We don't have a purpose on what we need to get back. You know
So
what
we
I'm talking
stay
about?
in survival mode.
Right. We're in this survival mode. And we can't even look up.
We're a bunch of pawns, don't even know why we playing.
Yeah.
Because the pawns are the first ones to get killed. So they are there to draw out other people.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, this is the crazy thing, B. If you look at the setup of the table,
Mm-hmm.
and they have their pawns, they have a knights, they have a rooks, they have a bishops,
Mm-hmm.
king, queen, right? But when they look over to our side, we're all queen pieces, but we all act like pawns because we don't realize our power.
True that.
We don't realize we can't strategize. They look at us and they see that we have the power of the queen to control the board, to move anywhere. But they've convinced us that we're pawns and you can only move one slot at a time.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's a pawn, no matter what.
Mentally, we're all pawns.
Facts.
But we all have the power to be that queen piece.
God damn it, that was powerful. Yeah. Yeah. Damn. But who are we then? That it makes you really sit. If you can't sit back and think about it like either I need to learn how to play chess, or I
Right.
need to understand the game of chess
Right.
and stop playing checkers because we always trying to jump over our fellow man just to say I beat you or I'm better
Right.
than you.
Right.
And learn how to be patient because chess can be a quick game and chess can be a long game.
Right.
And if you do learn how to play chess, or if you're saying we are playing chess, we're playing the quick game. We're not playing a long game. We're just trying to get it done in time frame. We rushing, we rushing, move, tick, versus I gotta beat. I need to get inside your head to find out what you're trying to do. I need to see where you're coming from. The difference between speed chess and regular chess. And it's crazy because now, again, we're in 2024. Really, that we don't even know if this is 2024. This is 2024 from a Roman perspective. Can I say
Right.
it?
No, you're right. But before you go into your timepiece, I want to get back to
Go ahead. Go back. Go ahead.
checkers.
Go back.
I want to go to the checkers and the chess thing
Go ahead.
because regardless, we think, somebody says, well, I'm playing chess and they're playing checkers, right?
Mm-hmm.
They only say that because it's two different games.
True that.
You know what makes you win in either game? Strategy.
Strategy. You gotta know how to play.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a quick game when my strategy is better than yours. It's a long game when both of us have great strategy. So we don't strategize how to move.
True that.
We don't understand. Sometimes we'll make a move that we knew wasn't going to get us anything, but it got us in position on the back end to do greater things. So because you don't understand strategy, we don't know how to move without showing what we're going to do. us as black people, we have a lot of great black people, right? There are a lot of smart people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we don't use strategy. We want to talk about the moves that we're going to do. Given the other strategist who's been strategizing against you for thousands of years the opportunity to block your moves.
Which they are.
And so, even if we came up with a plan, we don't we don't have the strategists that can keep us this moving over here, that moving over here, but we're really organizing how to get the king to this position. You see what I'm saying? So because we don't strategize well enough, and they tell you all the time what they read. You know, they read Art of War. You know, they read Machiavelli or The Prince. They read 48 Powers of Law.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
well, they've been reading the Mayat for thousands of years. They just can't understand it.
So like the black leader out of Africa.
Right. But I'm saying that whole I ain't
But I
even
understand what you're saying.
don't get me into that today, B.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go into that today because like I said, we were never monolithic. Never. We were never this one people. We were always different people in different places that could work together. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Not just this monolithic. The African people were this, or the
No, I
Kemetic
was just
people were that.
just rules, the way of rule, not the way the military mindset. That's the only reason I was saying that.
Right. We definitely don't have a military mindset because that's what strategy is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the three principles I talk about that we don't teach: military science, science of romance, and financial science. And that's why we lack in our community. It's because we don't have those three sciences as prevalent in our lives.
Facts. God damn. Bro, we done went everywhere today. But we stayed on code though. We stayed within
Right.
the realms. We ain't here like we normally are. We stayed political as much as we can without going too crazy. But again, y'all pay attention to your local officials.
Right.
Pay attention to your city council. Pay attention to the mayor. Pay attention to who they put in place because these people are the ones that's really changing the game, and we just don't realize how they changing the game, especially when it comes to a state level. And again, I guess state rights is only state rights when it comes to abortion. Any other time, state rights ain't state rights. But again, we might be United States. That means a bunch of states connected to each other. When it comes to being on a federal level, you still got states' rights. Basically, a bunch of villages, a bunch of communities inside of one big community. Just be careful who you choosing. Don't choose people because they're popular. Choose the people that's trying to make a difference. What is their purpose? What is their true purpose? Are they just doing this because who's backing them? Because everybody is a puppet to somebody else. So, again, I don't like talking about politics because we go to this whole. To me, it's like a waste of time and energy because we choosing between two parties, which is Republican and Democrat, versus understanding that neither one of them are here to benefit us as a people. And when I say us as a people, I'm talking indigenous Americans of Turtle Island. Yeah, I flipped it on you. So I know we've been on long. I know we still got stuff to do. And yes, Jerome is the reason why we doing this because my man had to kick me in my butt and say, "Yo, let's do something." That's why I appreciate him. That's why I love this dude because sometimes that's why I say, sometimes I don't mind being Scottie Pippen. We're gonna get a championship regardless.
Regardless.
We're gonna get a championship because we're a team. But at the same
True.
time, mentally, you constantly fight within yourself at all times. Understanding and also have somebody that's behind you that's also asking, "Are you good? How you feeling, man?" Especially if they ain't heard it from you. So be somebody's shoulder or not be a shoulder. Sometimes you just people just notice that you care or they see that you hurt or they see that something's off on you. They step up to the plate and be like, "Yo, what's good?" So it goes back to the mental aspect of understanding who you are and stop letting life beat you down because if you are who you are, if you knowing your worth, if you knowing what stock you come from, look at it. It's pray to your ancestors. Pray to your family ancestors that they give you guidance because yeah, Big Mama might have had all the answers and Big Mama's gone. So hey, you better get into that. You better get into that self mode of inner self, not saying self as what you see, but that inner self of understanding who it is that pushes the person and drives the person that you are. So all I can say is I got some stuff I got to do, so we're gonna have to end the show. I mean, hell, we can keep going on because this right here, dude, this is therapy for me. I appreciate this, but at the same time, know yourself, understand yourself, and love yourself. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep fighting. Understand your surroundings and stop being misled by just hearing bullshit because that's all that people is throwing at you. I need you and I'm using you to get what I want, but I don't give a fuck about you.
Right.
That's where we at right now in 2020. So again, strategize. Let's play chess. Let's play real chess. If we got to sit at this thing for 2 or 3 hours before we beat each other and say, "Hey, you won, good game." Let's sit at the table. Let's think. Nobody's thinking. Everybody's just reacting.
Right.
So that's my last words, man. Go ahead, Drone. End it up for us.
Nah, I mean, you definitely on point about everything. If I could close it out, I would close on the point of we need to get to a point of intellectual maturity with our
Mhm.
people. Um, Realizing that there's things that happen around us, but we need to focus on us.
Mhm.
We've always been a people that if something happens to another people, we rally to that point. But when something happens to us, we're left alone and we never do for self. We're at a point in 2024 on the Gregorian calendar or the Julian calendar or whichever one of those European calendars you want to call. Um, but enough time has passed for us to be working for us. Like I said, there's no excuses on why we shouldn't be further than where we are as a people, not individually. Because individually, there are a lot of us that are doing well. But as a people, we could be further along or back to where we were on a solid grounds
Mhm.
for thousands and thousands of tens and hundreds of thousands of years. So we just got to get back to us, man. We got to um, get back to community, get back to village mentality. Um, when we can do those things, I think we'll see different results. Doing what we're doing now and expecting different results is insanity. So
Fact.
we're going to have to put in the work to do something different. We have to learn to strategize. And let me make a promise while we're on here, B.
Go ahead.
Those 3 sciences I talked about.
Yeah.
I said last year that I was going to go in depth. I promised this year that I would go in depth on those 3 sciences.
You sure?
Even if I had to do it on a Patreon.
Say word. Say word.
Word. So we're gonna I'm gonna do my part as much as I can to give us the information to be better. Other than that, hit the like button, subscribe to 3-Headed Monster Podcast. We're the baddest team out there, man.
Let's build, man.
Spread the word on every platform. We're gonna try to get on some more platforms this year and try to expand the brand a little more. I want to thank B for coming on today. I know he said he needed a kick in the butt, but sometimes I need a kick in the butt too. That's what we do with each other. That's what love is, man. You gotta love the people you with. You know what I'm saying? We don't, even when we're on here and it sounds like we're disagreeing, we're never in disagreement. We're just animated. We're passionate about what we do. We love each other, man. I love that dude.
You got 2 heads.
2 heads of the monster, man.
2 heads. No, but I mean, yeah, we build. And that's all we're trying to do is build. We ain't trying to tear nobody down.
Right.
So if anybody looking at this as we're attacking a political party, for one, neither one of them give a fuck about us. So, no, it's just my opinion of how I see it.
Right, exactly. And that's what this is. It's opinion based. Y'all are having the opportunity to listen in on our conversation.
Because this is how we talk, for real.
Yeah, because this is how we talk. So we wanted y'all to be a part of it. We want y'all to have more feedback. We love y'all comments. Keep commenting. And we'll go forward from there. Everything's done in peace and love.
All right, fellas. Well, again, it's the 3-Headed Monster. We will be back again on this week, so we're going to keep this rolling. So let's build. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.